Everybody made weight. Lights are on. Everybody is ready.
I don't know how anyone cannot be excited to see Nick Diaz back and have a stacked card like it is tonight. It's such a stacked card. I would be so excited to see this fight tonight.
Oh, yeah. And it's like we said on Wednesday, there's two title fights, but they're being overshadowed by the beautiful Nick Diaz returning from action. Yeah, it's been 6 years.
Him and his brother, man, I see his brother in the background as it's weighing. His brother looks good. Like, this is all fighters to this day. Again, all that, man. They're all great. Oh, I'm just so excited to see them.
So anybody in the audience, you know, watching out there, if you have, in the chat, if you have any comments, any predictions, any thoughts on tonight's UFC 266, or if you just want to come out to Miller's and get drunk with us, baby, you're more than welcome. We'll be in Willow Grove, right by the PA Turnpike exit.
Come on out, man. Have some drinks. Have some good food. Chat it up. You know, like, bullshit, you know, like, some of that fake stuff. Their predictions, who they think's gonna win. I think that's the biggest thing is who do you think's gonna win?
Hey, we're there.
Thanks a lot, StreamYard.
Yeah.
We're live now. What's up, everybody?
Yeah. But hey, my predictions have changed.
It has? Since when? For 24
I
hours?
told you on Wednesday my predictions will change.
Give me a
They
break.
will possibly change come the weigh-ins. When somebody steps...
See, there's no way you can change your prediction during weigh-in. You already have your mindset on who's winning, right? You've for instance, Lauren Murphy versus Valentino. I think Valentino's going to win. But you're going to tell me during weigh-in your prediction could change on that?
No, my predictions only changed on one fight, and you're going to verbally beat me up for it, man.
Get out of your mind.
Hey, look, I seen them weigh in. Alexander Volkanovski looked great.
He did look good.
He looked in great shape. Brian Ortega looked in great shape. Valentino Shevchenko even looked in great shape. Lauren Murphy looked in great shape. Robbie Lawler looked in great shape. But
Hold on. Don't you fucking dare say what I think you're going to say. Go ahead. Finish it out.
I'm sorry, but Nick Diaz threw me for a loop, buddy.
Stop it.
Look, this is the only reason I say this.
Why? Because you put an extra, 15 pounds on to be 185?
Wait. Yes. So when we were here Wednesday, this was a welterweight fight. This was a welterweight.
Yeah, 175.
No, 170 pounds.
Oh, for fuck's sake,
So
5 pounds.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So something happened. Something happened when those negotiations were taking place up until the last minute before the press conference on Thursday.
Yeah.
And who do you think wasn't making weight?
Nobody. I just think they just wanted to be 185.
But, okay. All right. So I'll give you that.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you that. Maybe either of them didn't want to cut. Who knows? They were both probably on the same page.
I don't think that's what it was. I think the media is making it way worse than it is. They probably just agreed, hey, look, you just want to be 185, we'll try a different weight class? Sure, why not? I think it's not someone can't cut weight.
Robbie is not who I want to win. It is only who I think may be the victor.
I don't think
the only reason I say this, Robbie Lawler's in shape. He fought recently.
Nick isn't? Hold on. When you say Robbie's in shape, you're saying Nick is not in shape?
Nick has a dad bod, bro.
Oh, dude, he does triathlons, dude. He does marathons on the rip.
I know. His cardio is there. His cardio is there. I may be biting my lip tomorrow when we're reviewing this pay-per-view. I'm just saying, based off of my eyes and what I saw, and just how things have changed over the past 48 hours.
Yeah.
I just think Robbie's been more active. He fought August 2020.
Right.
And Nick Diaz hasn't fought in 6 years. So we don't know what to
Because of
expect.
suspension.
We
Because of
don't-
suspension.
Yes.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Yes. But I don't know if you've been paying attention to this. You obviously have. So I would like to put some thoughts in on this. He basically came out in an interview and said, and now this is how he always is. He always is like this fight week. He hates fights.
He hates fight week.
He hates
doesn't do interviews. He hates interviews. He hates doing fan signings. He doesn't like doing any of that. He hates it. He said it is stressful for no reason. It sucks. I hate fighting, all that. But here he is fighting again. Nick loves to fight.
And I'm looking forward to Nick Diaz. I want him to put on a good performance. Okay? That's why I'm like two-faced as shit right now. I want Nick Diaz to win. I don't know, man. It's obvious Nick Diaz has more cardio, and it's obvious that Robbie Lawler is in more physical shape, not cardio-wise, because this rematch is 17 years in the making. The last fought 2004. Now, I rewatched that fight this week.
Of course. So did I. Twice.
It was incredible.
Twice.
I was a little
Twice.
baby then. Yeah, not a little baby, but I was a preteen right there, you know?
I think I was a
maybe I was like
teenager then.
14 or 15 when that happened.
Yeah, I was around the same age. Yeah. But my thing is, right, is that people are saying that Nick is out of shape. Is he? You think he's sitting there being a couch potato when he's not?
I don't think
he's
complete.
training. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's probably just in such good shape. He's just heavier. Because that happens. Muscle puts on more weight.
Yeah.
So he could have been in better shape. Like, another thing is, too, I am interested in what the chat might think or say about the Diaz shape. Or who knows? They might be on your side or they could be on my side, you know? I don't know. But, like, the chat could probably be like, yo, man, you guys are crazy thinking that Diaz is out of shape. Are you high, sir? Dave, are you high? I think there might be a drug policy might be informed here.
I can't.
He's high as a kite.
I can't confirm whether I would pass that or
clearly. Isn't it like marijuana but to make you focused?
Yeah.
Or what kind of weed are you taking? The Kush?
No weed right now, sir. No weed right now. I am more than focused on this fight night. I just have a different scope of where I think this fight will land. I think Robbie Lawler is a lot more smarter than he was back in 2004. They obviously are a lot older.
Both of them are.
Yeah, I think one's 38 and one's 39. They're almost 40 years old. I just, look, Diaz was calling out Kamaru Usman.
As he should.
He was calling out the welterweight champion.
As he should.
But you know what the Kamaru Usman beast of the welterweight division's going to say?
What's he
You
saying?
fought at 185. You didn't necessarily prove anything to me. You didn't prove you can make championship weight. You didn't prove that you could come in and make the weight decently to be able to be a top contender for welterweight.
I think Usman is just talking shit because he knows that he's a champ and he's a pretty good champ. Not going to take that away from him. But the fight against like Nick or anything, I think that's the thing about the Diaz bros. Everyone thinks, oh, they have a shitty record, but they're dogs. They'll fight to the end. They'll die in there if they have to. Like, they're very different breed of fighters. They're real fighters. Like, you see, like, some of these other fighters are all cut up and all that. But, like, they're, like, more of, like, a real fighter, like a street fighter. Like, you go on the streets, like, you could probably fight one of these, and these two are going to whoop your fucking ass. Like, these are just real fighters. That's what I take out of the Diaz bros. They're not cut up like some of these other guys. They're, like, all that shit. But, like, Diaz bros, they're definitely fighters. They're a real deal. That's what I think.
Diaz doesn't run from anyone. Yes, Sean, I agree with that. And
Nick never was a physical specimen. I agree, Kyle. Zap. Yeah, I totally agree. He never was a physical specimen whatsoever. Neither of them were.
And Sean saying, I'm watching you guys in the Notre Dame game. I know we're going up against college football. Are we doomed? I don't know. But I don't care. It's fight day. And that's what my thoughts are at.
Yo, Sean, you talking about the video game? I'm a Street Fighter Legend, the video game? Yeah, I like Kyle, too.
So, you know, I appreciate your comment, Sean. But So where were we? Okay, so Nick Diaz, I'm saying he's not totally out of shape. I'm just saying Robbie's more in physical shape. Now, cardio-wise...
Do you think that the eye is deceiver? Like, your eye is deceiving you? Maybe they may be thinking, like, Nick is more heavier than we've ever seen him, so you think he might be physically out of shape? I don't see it.
I just think... see, and this is where I think it might bite me, because he's more comfortable, he's eating well, because he's at the 185, pound limit, and... He hasn't never really been that jacked fighter.
No.
He never really cared about his physical
appearance.
He just goes in there and jacks people up. Now, do I think he would have won the fight against Anderson Silva in his recent one? I don't know, because
that's a good question. Who do you think won that fight? Realistically, I think Nick won that. I think Silva was running. He was doing circles. He wasn't really doing nothing to Nick.
Nick Diaz was laying on the floor.
Yeah, clowning him. Clowning him.
So I don't know who was the more clown that fight. Who was more serious? I'm hoping Nick Diaz comes in tonight more serious than he was in that fight. He got popped for the marijuana, and then Anderson also got popped for the steroids. So I don't really know.
Well, that puts it in more perspective, does it not? That Silva had to take steroids to try to even keep up with Nick.
And maybe Nick had to
he
take
didn't do nothing to Nick.
Yeah.
He did nothing to Nick. Nick was goofing on him. He was like, well, another rigged UFC fight at his post fight. Another rigged fight. Yeah. I always lose in decisions.
But they didn't even go hard on Anderson Silva.
No, they didn't.
As hard as they went on Nick Diaz.
Because Nick is a repeated offender. They keep fucking raping him.
They threw the damn freaking...
Exactly. They had finish it. Threw the book at him.
They threw the book at him.
That's
yes.
right.
They threw the book at him.
That's what I'm saying, is that they're so hard on these Diaz bros. They don't like them for whatever reason. Because every time these Diaz bros go to decision, they get robbed. Like, most of the time, they get robbed. There's some times where they say they got robbed when they didn't. They got beaten. But they get robbed nonstop. These Diaz bros cannot survive a decision win. They need a finish because these judges don't like them for whatever reason it is. That's how I feel. I wonder if the chat feels the same way.
And I agree with you, and I respect your opinion as always. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping Nick Diaz proves himself, because I would like him to continue fighting. Like he even said in the press conference.
Yeah, if I lose, I'm fighting right again.
Yeah.
Send me back in. Even if he wins, who do you think he calls out? Because he said he's going to... I don't know if he's going to call out anybody, but if Nick wins, who does he call out? Jorge? Masvidal? He says he wants to fight Jorge, but now he's trying to make beef with Usman. Does he fight Usman next after Kobe?
And
depending on who wins out of that.
Don't forget about Leon Edwards. Don't forget he's in the mix. He's in the mix, bro.
Well, that's another thing, is that their breaking news was Leon Edwards and Jorge Masvidal are going to fight.
Yeah. So. And then you got Jorge Masvidal last night at the AEW Rampage show.
Oh, Jesus.
Using that knee that he did against Chris Jericho. We are an MMA podcast, but hey, if Jorge Masvidal is going to show up at AEW, we're going to talk about it, So I don't know, if that's the fight.
What do you think of that? Do you think that's a spectacle? Or do you think, maybe Jorge might be thinking about going to WWF or that wrestling stuff? Do you think that might be it?
I see him seeing that as possibly a path after,
You think so?
I think so, yeah. Usually,
I don't know.
What was he doing there? I don't know. What was he doing there? What was he... I don't know. Was he trying to stay relevant in a way? He doesn't need to do that to be relevant.
Well, I think that's the thing that a lot of these UFC fighters are doing. They're trying to get recognition that they deserve, because UFC is not really promoting any of their fighters. They don't. Yeah. That's just a fact. They don't. Unless you're a big top name, then they'll do that. But Jorge, man, he has to keep himself relevant. I want people to start talking about me, so I'm gonna do a running knee on Chris Jericho's head and at the AEW and make him bleed, so it makes it feel more realistic, I guess. I don't know.
So, Sean, if you're still watching, I would like to hear your prediction. Who do you think's going to win the Nick Diaz fight?
Yeah, same
and
thing
Robbie
with
Lawler?
Everybody who's watching, man. If you guys have a feeling of Nick and Lawler, let us know what you think of who's going to win that fight. Because right now we have a mixed table right here. We have one Diaz, one Lawler.
It's Diaz tonight, fellas. From one casual to a couple
Absolutely.
of
I
experts here.
want to see
Thank
that.
you.
I want to see Diaz.
No. You already
Wait,
set your boundary.
No,
No,
I
no,
said
no.
it. I said who do I want to win? Diaz.
Nope.
Who I think's gonna win? Robbie. And look, if he wins tonight, if Robbie wins tonight,
You know when we go to Miller's, you sit opposite side of me. You don't sit next to me. You sit opposite side.
How you gonna do me like that?
Diego says Lawler. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Diego says Lawler. Why do you say Lawler, Diego?
Truthfully, Lawler is a tough son of a bitch, but I like Diaz. But that doesn't say who you want to win. That's conflicting. You think Lawler's tough, but you like Diaz. So you gotta tell us who is winning. I need answers. Who is winning?
Who is winning? Who is
I
winning?
got Diaz all day. 209.
We got 5 people watching. We only got 2 people commenting. Come on. Come on. We should have more people watching, more people tuning in. I know we're going up against college football, but screw it, man. Screw it. This is relevant, and we got UFC 266 happening tonight.
Oh, dude, I tried to get a Diaz shirt so bad, dude. I could not get it in on time. I could not get one. They were selling out like crazy. I couldn't get one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. He's always a hot topic on UFC Store.
All the Diaz
So
bros.
Zap says Diaz for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm feeling like I'm outnumbered. I know I'm going to be
As you should
outnumbered.
be.
I know I'm going, but look, I said I'm on the fence, man. I'm just looking at what I saw on the weigh-ins.
See, that's just so mind-boggling that you can look at a weigh-in and like, oh yeah, he's winning, oh he's losing. No, man, you look at the skill set. You look at how they are. I would believe it if he was more look like DC. If Nick Diaz looked like DC at weigh-in with a beer gut, then all right, I'll give it to you. He looked out of shape. But no, he's toned. He looked good. It wasn't like he had a beer gut. He had abs still. He's still there. He's still good.
He just hasn't been as active.
Oh,
Look, all right,
dude,
so
give me a
6
break.
years removed.
He's in the fucking gym working out
I know
every
he is.
day.
I know he is.
You cannot
I
tell
know he
me
is.
that he's out of shape. He's with his brother, working with his brother. You cannot tell me Nick is out of shape.
So Diego says Laura has been active. The long way has me leaning towards him. Don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for Diaz all day, and a Diaz win will make his next pay-per-view huge. So any MMA fan wants that. I do want that. I want him to be the big star that he deserves. I want him to be the welterweight champion. He never got that. He never got that.
So when do the prelims start Pacific time?
So the prelims start at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm assuming
5 p.m. Pacific then.
No, I'm pretty sure the early prelims
right.
are at 7. I think they're at 7. Don't quote me on that.
That's Eastern time.
That's Eastern time.
Yeah, but
so
he wants Pacific time.
So it'll be what, 4 o'clock Eastern time?
5. It's with
It'll be
geography,
5.
fellas.
It'll be
3
5.
hours.
What?
It's 3 hours behind us, so it'll be 5.
So it'll be what? No,
Are you all right?
The early prelims start at 7.
So
it
4
would
o'clock.
Be,
Yeah,
so it'll be 4 o'clock in Pacific.
Sean is even chiming in. We're not a bunch of math majors, clearly.
I am not. I am terrible at math. That's why
Clearly.
I have these guys' records all on paper. There's just too many.
And this is the motherfucker who picks fucking Lawler to win. Give me a break.
No.
All right,
You're going to be biting your words, brother.
Besides Diaz and Lawler, which you guys are not in lockstep with, you guys are in lockstep with pretty much the entire rest of the card, not including the prelims tonight. Let's start from the top. Let's start with that.
Brian Ortega?
Yes, let's go with Ortega here.
So we got.
Tell me why we're going there tonight.
Brian Ortega versus Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski is the UFC featherweight champion.
Yeah.
Brian Ortega, he's the number 1 contender. Like we said on Wednesday, blah blah blah. They did the Ultimate Fighter thing.
Yeah.
And it was boring. But
so how do you feel about this fight? Who do you got? We'll start off with predictions first. Who do you got?
I want Brian Ortega. I'm going with Brian Ortega. Now look.
I got Ortega too. He looked good. He looks locked in, especially in the weigh-in and the press conference. He looks focused. He looks locked in. I have good odds on Ortega doing an upset tonight on Volkanovski.
So in the press conference, Alexander Volkanovski was talking mad crap. And Brian Ortega was just like, I'm not letting I'm not letting that shit settle into my head.
Yeah.
You're not getting the best of me mentally. So I'm going with Brian Ortega.
100%.
But it's very iffy. Alexander Volkanovski is on a 19-fight win streak.
Due for a loss.
19
You're due for a loss.
Win streak.
You're due.
And I don't think he's ever lost in the UFC. Ever.
No,
I don't think he's. I think you would have to take it back to where he was in the little promotions. So, wait, what? Who's a fake champion? I'm seeing. False champion.
He's saying Volkanovski is a false champion. T-City is Diego.
So Austin
Kyle saying Holloway's my champ. I totally agree. Max Holloway is still champ to me. I think he got robbed.
I think he got robbed, but he lost to both of them. No. Let me correct myself right now. Brian Ortega lost to Max Holloway. Alexander Volkanovski won against Max Holloway 2 times.
Right.
So I'm going with Brian Ortega because I want to see Brian. I love the hood in him. If I could say
that's the West Coast gangsters right there. The Diaz and Ortega gonna smoke a blunt before the fight,
and they probably will. But I'm going, and it's a bold prediction. When you're on a 19-fight win streak, you don't know how to lose. You're not mentally set for that.
I still think Ortega's gonna take him. I think Ortega needs to finish. I think he's gonna. In the beginning, and Wednesday, I think he's gonna be a submission. I said Ortega's gonna submit him, but now seeing it, I think Ortega's gonna jab him up. I think he's gonna knock him out. I really think Volkanovski's gonna get knocked out.
See, if there's a finish in this fight, I'm going with Brian Ortega by submission.
Well, yeah,
and
that's why I said on Wednesday. But now I am changing. I think it's gonna be a knockout
because he is. I mean, they're both good on the ground, but Brian Ortega has a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu skills to him. He always seems to wrap up that neck and get him in a guillotine. Yeah. I see that possibly happening. If one of them goes to the ground, I think Brian Ortega will.
He has the advantage because he's longer.
I think he.
Because when you're doing jiu-jitsu, I don't know if anybody else has trained in it. I have, and the longer limbs is such a good advantage. When you have longer limbs, it's such an advantage for you. It's crazy how much advantage you have. You can just wrap up. You can use your legs a lot more. When you're short, man, like it is such a disadvantage for jiu-jitsu. So that's why you work on your wrestling, because wrestling helps when you're shorter, because you're lower to the ground. But yeah, I think Ortega, I think he has him, man, in every aspect of the fight. I think he has him.
All right, let's move on to the other title bout here, fellas. Shevchenko versus Murphy. Who do you have in this one?
Oh, boy.
Shevchenko. She's just too dominant. I think she has her.
So if you're a betting person out there and you have a lot of money and you don't give a crap about it, you can put your money on Lauren Murphy and make some big money on that fight if Lauren Murphy.
Yeah, she's a plus 1,700.
And that has changed. It has changed to even worse.
What is it, 19?
I think she's a plus 840, but now Valentina Shevchenko is a minus 1,800. So it's like basically like she doesn't have a freaking shot. Now if somebody were to put 20-some $1,000, I don't know, anybody even watching has that in their bank. God bless them if they do. But if you were to put that money on that table for Lauren Murphy to win, you would walk away with close to $600,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is a very bold bet.
It is not.
It is
so who do you have in this fight? I have Valentino.
I have Valentina Shevchenko to win. I think she will win by TKO. This is another bold prediction. TKO.
In what round? What round?
I'm going to go with third round. Third round. Because Lauren Murphy is a straight-up woman dog. She is not ever been finished. It's not going to be easy to finish Lauren Murphy. Now Valentina Shevchenko is amazing with her kicks and
she's good everywhere.
And her awkward movement.
She's an all-around good fighter. I think Lauren Murphy is going to have to get Valentino to the ground, and hopefully she does damage. If not, she's in for a long night. And my prediction would be Shevchenko and maybe a second round KO. Second round.
Shot. You know your audience who has 20,000. I mean, we have 8 people watching. I don't know who has 20,000.
I don't.
I don't. I do not have that to just throw away as a.
Hey, I made 20,000 in a year once. How about you guys?
In a year?
Exactly, exactly. And I am not giving it away to the betting odds for that one. Now,
Like Kyle says, first round KO, and Sean says the same thing. I'd be surprised if it goes past the second.
I would be surprised if it goes past the second.
You would? I think Valentino's probably gonna knock her out in the third round.
Well, here's the thing.
so.
I'm thinking third round only because Lauren Murphy has never been finished, and she's fought some tough competition as well.
The reason why
Like,
I say the third round, because first round, usually all the fights fill each other out. Unless you fill them out too quick, then it would be faster. Second round, think she gets beaten. Third round, finish. That's my prediction.
I think so. I don't see Valentina Shevchenko getting beat. I just don't. Like we were talking on Wednesday, and we can go on it for days. I don't see really competition out there for her.
Other than Nunez?
Other than Nunez, yeah.
Nah, I don't want to see a third one. I don't want to see a third fight.
It's been years.
I don't give a shit, man. You fight someone 3 times, you beat them 3 times. What are you doing? Like, no, stop. Unless it was like a convincing. Unless it was 1-1. All right, a rubber match. Totally get it. You beat someone convincingly and knocked her out and beat her all the time in 2 rounds. You don't need to fight her a third time. What do you need to prove? She can't beat you. Obviously, you lost twice.
Yeah, I guess. I agree with you, and I respect your opinion on that.
You don't have to respect it. It's
But
the truth.
there's nobody else out there. There's just nobody. I mean,
Don't matter.
Kayla Harrison is eventually, but there's Aspen Ladd in there. There's all these up and comers, but there's nobody to compete with these 2 ladies.
You don't need anything.
There's nobody, man. I mean, look at Valentina.
Look, I even have fans saying the same thing. I agree. No need for a third, only if it's 1-1. Exactly what I said. If there's a rubber match, 1-1.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like you beaten Pat twice, and he wants to fight you again. Are you kidding me?
But a lot of people believe.
Sounds about right for
A
Pat.
lot of people
1%.
believe
Goof.
she won one of those fights.
Who?
A lot of people believe that
No.
she won one of those fights, and that's why you can't ever stick that shit to the judges. You lend
That's
your.
her fault, right? That's her fault. She was there
There's
for the
both
kill.
of them. There's both of them.
It's both of
It's
them.
both of them.
All right,
It's both of their faults.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right.
Blades or Rosenstruck? Who do you got?
I've got Curtis Blades. He's 14-3. Who do you got?
I got Blades too. I think Blades is going to ground and pound him out. I do. I think Rosenstruck has a good stand-up, but I think that what's lacking is his ground game. I think Curtis Blades gets him down, and like they call him Razor Blades, he's going to drop some elbows on his forehead, and I think that's going to be it. I think Curtis Blades is probably going to win by decision.
You think decision?
Yeah.
Those heavyweight bombs ain't going to connect and knock one of them out.
No,
Okay.
I think it's going to be a decision. I really do. I think Blades is just a wrestler. At the end of the day, he's going to wrestle him to death, lay in on him, and pray for 5 minutes. I think it's going to lay and pray. I think it's going to be a decision for Curtis.
It's an easy pick for me. I mean, Curtis Blades, like you said, the wrestling skills are there. I think if he takes him down, he will be able to get in full guard and possibly ground and pound him, get those elbows in his face, light him up. I don't see Rosenstruck. He only has 2 losses on his record, Rosenstruck does. So anybody got any predictions for that fight out there?
Yeah, Austin said he thinks Blades is going to take him down and win that fight. Sean, he thinks a KO.
Because we're looking for new contenders. We're going to get into the John Jones bullshit pretty soon.
Oh, jeez.
But,
A
now
whole nother situation.
now it's not looking so good for the heavyweight division in possibly having John Jones as a contender. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but...
Yeah, that's a hold up now because he just got arrested.
Yeah. So he just got arrested.
Let's go there now. Tell me what happened to.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you
Yeah,
might as well.
so-
And then we'll get to
Chris,
the last fight.
You have the honor of doing that.
So John Jones got inducted to the Hall of Fame. Congrats to him. And then he goes home, beats the missus. Beats the missus and beats up her car.
crazy.
Like, this man is poisoned or has a dark cloud over his head when he goes to Vegas. Man, this guy is just getting pummeled every time he goes to Vegas. Like, I think that's what it is. He has a black cloud over him in Vegas. Every time he goes to Vegas, there's something goes on. He gets arrested and does this, he does that. But he looked beefy, man. He looks pretty big at 260. Looks huge.
So it's very freaking sad, man. It really is sad. So when I heard this news, you know, I knew he was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Same.
It was 10:30 Eastern time, our time,
Right.
On Thursday, and that was after the press conference. So I was like, I'm not going to stay up for this. You know, I got work. Well, I wake up the next morning. First thing I hear is John Jones has been arrested.
I thought it was a meme. I thought it was a goof.
I thought it was a joke. I
did
really
too.
did.
But nope,
Until
real
every
deal.
outlet, every MMA news outlet was speaking on it.
Yeah.
He has been arrested for domestic battery, misdemeanor, from what I hear, misdemeanor, and supposedly in the police affidavit or whatever they call that thing, he has been charged with destroying, possibly.
He vandalized the vehicle. He was punching it,
vandalized
trying to get
the
her out of
vehicle.
the car or some shit.
So I don't like to assume anything, but when it comes to domestic, I believe it has to be sort of family related. You know, it has to be someone from your household. Well, who's in his household? His wife. So I'm really hoping that that's not the case. We have no further information really on who it was that he victimized, but it really hurts his career. Now, he has been arrested several times before. He has been arrested before for domestic assault. And he's just so damn clumsy, man. Like, he cannot get over these demons. Dana White said it clear.
Like Kyle just said, he says, I don't understand the issue. He was just sparring with his wife. Come on, guys.
That is crazy. I'm not commenting on that because I am not down with women beating material. He's just sparring.
I'm sure that's like exactly what John Jones would say too.
Yeah,
Yes, that's exactly what John Jones would say. Yes.
All coked up.
Yeah. So, you know, you've been speaking of that on our recent podcast. This dude gets coked up. This dude does this. He's just a
Prime example. This is a prime example.
This is a prime example.
He just can't stay out of the law's eyes.
Stay
He
out
can't.
of the. So I don't know if everybody knows his history, but he's been arrested for domestic abuse before. He actually hit a pregnant woman in
That I
her
didn't
car.
hear.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
hit a pregnant woman in his car. He left the scene, realized he had his marijuana paraphernalia bowl, as they call it, pipe, whatever you call it, in his car. He walked back specifically to get that bowl and, I guess, some cash, and then leaves the freaking scene, doesn't even check to see if this pregnant woman was okay. It's just crazy. You cannot write this book. You cannot write a book better than what the heck is going on in his career.
The thing is, it's like kind of the same thing what Austin just said. He is an amazing, talented fighter who is just so talented that you're fucking it up by doing dumb shit. That's what you're doing. You keep messing up because you're getting caught. Like, do it in your own house. Why do you keep going outside and doing it, you weirdo? Go inside. I thought cokeheads like to do it in their own house. Why are you doing it outside?
I don't know. So what is your thoughts on this? What do you make out of this?
It's just going to be a long time until he comes back to the UFC. I think the time was close. It was getting narrow, but now it's just got stretched out. Like, he's like, oh, shit. Even Dana White's probably frustrated, too. He says, well, you got in trouble again. What can I tell you?
So he did an interview after the UFC Hall induction. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame for his fight with Alexander Gustafsson. It was an amazing fight, crazy fight. So he did an interview after the induction ceremony and basically said he wants to wait on the sidelines until the second quarter of 2022 to whoever is the winner of Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane.
Yep.
He's more than content of just sitting on the guy.
Yeah, because he wants to be 275. He's only 265 right now. He wants to be 275 of pure muscle and beast.
I don't know what he's talking about there. Because
What do you mean? 275 is the biggest.
The limit is 265.
I didn't hear that. I thought it was higher than that. I thought it was like 3 something.
You can only go up to 265 in the heavyweight division. You're not going to be a heavyweight champion if you're walking in at 275.
There has to be a limit.
I'm telling you.
I think
265.
that's the limit?
That is the limit.
He's already 260, so what does he want to be 275 then? Oh, unless he wants to be 275, walk around with it,
and then
train
cut,
with it,
and
cut it to 265.
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah, and they put it back on during fight day.
And that makes more sense.
100%. That man's huge.
Because otherwise, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, if you think you're going to weigh in at 275, everybody's going to think this is a joke. And everybody already thinks this is a joke because I don't know what to make out of him. I don't know what is going to happen with him. The last time he was in trouble, he was the light heavyweight champion, and he had to vacate the belt. He had
Because he get in trouble.
Yeah.
He get in trouble. So you had to.
So
you had no choice.
So they have nothing really to take away from him anymore. And it's like I don't know where he goes from this. You know, we were anticipating
For him to go to the heavyweight.
for him to go a heavyweight. We've been waiting a long time. This has been pushed back and back and back, and we're just like, okay. I'm at the point where I'm just like, whenever John Jones fights, John Jones fights. Like, I don't give a crap. The UFC continues. The train keeps going, bro, with or without you.
Like Bob said, he's such a great talent. I wish he would get his crap together 100%. If he can get his act together, I think he would probably be the greatest fighter we've ever seen. 100%, he would be the greatest fighter we've ever seen.
I know. Yeah, I know he could be the greatest fighter because he was just so damn talented when he had his shit together.
He's so versatile. He can go anywhere. Elbows, kicks, ground, stand-up, whatever it is, he's got it.
And I miss that John Jones. I miss the John Jones that was facing Alexander Gustafsson. Will we ever get that back? I don't know.
No,
I don't. If he's hitting his wife, what the hell is going on? Like, what really made you go from 10:30 Eastern time, our time, which was what 7:30 Pacific when they were in Las Vegas doing the induction ceremony?
Yeah.
So 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, and then you get arrested at, well, I guess it was 5:45 Eastern time. So that's what, 2 something in the morning, if my math is correct. I'm starting to get these time zones on. But anyway,
3 hours behind. It's only 3 hours.
It's hard. It's hard.
What's 7 minus 4?
3.
Thank you.
I got it. I don't know. Yo, I was sped in school, so let's not make fun. I was sped, special ed.
Oh, shit.
So go there, bro. Go there.
No, we're not going there because I'm not getting crucified on here.
Well, let's see how good you are at math with this last card here, which we forgot to mention as we're wrapping up here, switching on from John Jones. The ladies with the first main card fight here. Where are you going in this one?
So it's Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Cavallo. Cynthia Cavallo is a very, very pretty looking lady. She's pretty. I think she is.
All right, we're going
I
there.
think she is. Anyway, yeah, I'm a loyal man. I'm going to get that out there first. However, you know, it's better than looking at Jessica Andrade's fight. Let's be real, yo. She looks like a freaking man, you know.
I bet you there's others who would say different.
I mean, like we said on Wednesday, she's got that OnlyFans,
That's true.
checking in. Anyway, so to get to the actual predictions, I'm going with Jessica Andrade.
Same.
But it's boring. We've already seen her fight Valentino Shevchenko, and Valentino Shevchenko has already beat her. I would like Cynthia Cavallo to win. I want to see something different.
Hold on. Before you go there, right? You said Jessica Andrade fought Valentino, and Valentino beat the brakes off her, right?
Yes.
Okay. So why do you want the same thing with Nunes versus Valentino?
Because they haven't fought each other in years.
So when was the last time Jessica Andrade fought Valentino?
And some say, like, some real legit people say that, you know, Valentino Shevchenko gave Nunes her best fight.
All right. We'll change the topic. So go to your prediction.
There is nobody for Nunes. I can't think of somebody. There's nobody.
All right. Who do you got? Who you got?
So, like I said, Jessica and Josh, boring. You, what you got? What you got, man?
I have to say the same thing. Jessica Andrade. I think her stand-up is just more superior than Cynthia.
I mean, it's possible.
It's just a lot better stand up. Like Jessica Andrade is just I guess an overall better fighter than Cynthia. I think
she's a beast. She's a beast.
She's
at the
really
women's
good.
division.
She's really good. I think she can fight for sure. But against Canelo, I think Canelo is just out of her realm against Jessica Andrade. And Jessica Andrade is really should be. What is she? What is she right now? Top 5? Jessica Andrade? I think she's top 5.
I think she's the number 1 contender. She's like 1 or 2.
I
She's
think
in
like
the top 5.
2 or 3. I know she's in the top 5, but I don't remember. I think she's 2 or 3. And this will just make sure that if she wins this, she's probably gonna fight Valentino again. She will. There's no one else left.
Yeah, but Jessica Andrade, was the champion in the flyweight division. No, the strawweight division, 115. So she was the strawweight champion at one time. So now she's moved up to the flyweight, which is 125. So now she's a top contender. She's fighting for she's fighting for basically what I think is the number 1 contender spot in the flyweight division. I don't see anybody else for her.
No, I don't either. But we'll see.
And like I said, so she faces Valentino Shevchenko. Bob says he'll take Shevchenko. I mean,
well, who isn't going to take her? Like, is there anybody really out there who's really taking Laura Murphy to beat Shevchenko?
Oh no, unless you're a betting man, like I said, you want that. You want that hunt.
I bet you it's somebody out there who is taking Laura Murphy and taking a long shot guess that, hey, if I put $30 on this, I might make a couple grand. That's pretty much what people are going to do.
Oh yeah, because they did the same thing when Holly Holm fought Ronda Rousey. When Holly Holm fought Ronda Rousey, somebody put a bet on Holly Holm to win, and it was a significant bet. I think it was like somewhere in the thousands, like 15 or 20,000, and they walked away a millionaire from that shit. So
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds more familiar. Yeah, I did hear that someone walked away as a millionaire after betting Holly Holm winning.
And that was crazy. So you could make some real legit money off of this. Like I said, Nick Diaz, he's an underdog. In the betting odds, yeah, it's very surprising. I will go with that. He's a very slight underdog, but he is an underdog. Now, like I said on Wednesday, and it's the same situation, Lauren Murphy, the biggest underdog on the whole card.
Yeah. Well, she's minus like 1,800. It's a shock. Like, whoa.
It's mind-blowing because Lauren Murphy is a beast, and she has never been finished. So, and then we got Curtis Blades. I think he's the favorite. And
so, what about Dan Hooker? Who do you got out of Dan Hooker fight?
Oh my God, Dan!
Because that
Hooker
was a fight that just got put on the card not too long ago.
It
was a replacement fight.
Well, here's the thing. So, I think Dan Hooker he's either from Australia or New Zealand. It's one of them. One of them, I forget exactly where he's from, but wherever he is from right now, there is like the toughest lockdown because of COVID,
right?
And they're really not letting anybody out. So what had happened was, or in. So he was scheduled to fight. He was trying to get his way over here, and lockdown. He couldn't get a visa. So thanks to social media, where sometimes people take a crap on social media, but this time it did good. So social media saved him. Fans kept pouring in, trying to get him to be able to get a visa. And then out of nowhere, he gets a visa.
Yep.
He gets a visa and comes flying in here Friday night.
Yep.
No, Friday morning. Sorry, correct.
No, Friday morning. Yeah.
Friday morning, makes weight, immediately makes weight, and like I said, makes weight. You could not find a most outstanding fighter on this card besides, your favorite, which is Nick Diaz.
That's right.
But for real, the lengths he went to being a professional is just mind-blowing. You didn't have to. The odds were already against you. You had no time to cut weight, so I don't know when the heck he did it. He probably was
he's already in shape as it is, like just training and waiting for a phone call. Because that's what a lot of these UFC fighters try to do is stay in shape and wait for a phone call. Hey, can you be ready? Yup.
Yeah.
Here I come.
So, I mean, it's crazy when you look at those odds that, he comes in and makes weight when he had so many obstacles in front of him. Like, and I applaud him for that. And usually we didn't even come on here to talk about necessarily the prelims because the whole card's stacked. There's just
a good card.
It's the whole card. There's Marlon Moraes on there. He's the feature fight on the prelims. So
yep.
He's the last fight before the main card.
Some of the DIAZ bros are from their camps, for their fighters that they train. They're on the card.
Yeah.
So man, this is a real good card. It's
real
stacked.
Good card.
Also, before we get off that topic, who do you think's winning, Dan Hooker or his opponent? I forget his opponent's name. So
it's very hard to pronounce his opponent's name, so I'm not even going to attempt to butcher it. Dan Hooker is who matters, and I'm going with Dan Hooker. I
think Dan Hooker's going to come off the win too.
I'm riding for him, man. Like, he has to win because of all the shit that he went through to be able to fight tonight and be a professional and make the weight that he was supposed to make. I applaud him for that, and he deserves that victory. And
does.
And if he wins in a fantastic form, like basically
like a finish,
right. He deserves it, 100%. He deserves it, 100%.
1%. I totally agree.
I have a couple of questions before you fellas hang it up here.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, I know you talked about it a little bit. Going back to DIAZ for a moment, there's a big hubbub. I didn't really catch what it was, but Nick Diaz came out and said he didn't want to cut weight for this or something like that, and he just wanted to stay where he was at. Did he end up doing that? I can't remember.
No, he stayed at 185. I think that's why they changed the weight.
Okay.
Just because he didn't want to stay at.
He stayed at 185, and that leads me to think, like you said, I don't know, John, if that was intended to happen or if that was a last minute change where they were just like, oh, we're gonna keep eating rather than cutting weight. What, Robbie and him were both on the same page. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat. I don't have to cut weight. I don't have to suffer. I don't have to look dehydrated. 15 pounds is a big, significant difference.
It is.
So it's obviously that they were walking around 190 maybe, and they had that weight to cut. And some of these fighters cut 30 pounds in 1 week, and it is not healthy.
No.
It is absolutely not healthy, and you see it in their performance when they step in the octagon. They don't look the same, and that's why I say my predictions change when it becomes weigh-ins because a lot of these fighters, they look significantly drained after the cut, man. Like, who is the one guy? It's like Habib's protege. We were talking.
Makhachev?
Yeah. He cuts 30 pounds during fight week. That is significant. Like, and he performs well regardless. But I don't know how he does it. When you cut it, I can't even humanly do that. So these fighters are on another level when it comes to weight cuts and that's been talked for years about people fighting at their actual weight and the weight cuts stopping because it's very unhealthy.
For everybody.
It's very unhealthy. It's very, and God knows what damage it does later on in their lives. It's just insane. But here's the thing, man. They're fighting, and they're fighting at middleweight. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually more intrigued with that because then they're actually coming in with a full belly. Full performance, and if Nick Diaz got that cardio, baby, from them triathlons,
I think he's got it still.
I think he could jab up Lawler. I just don't know. If Robbie catches him with that power, Robbie's knocked out a hell of a lot of people, bro. And Diaz, he's knocked out people, but he's mainly, you may beat me up for this, he's mainly a decision fighter.
Moving on.
I'm sorry, man.
I don't think that's going to happen tonight, though. In fact, I can't wait to see your reactions tomorrow after you guys are done at Miller's Ale House tonight, and seriously be there. They're not paying any of us in this room. I'm saying this full-heartedly. Miller's Ale House is fantastic to gather anywhere.
Yes.
I've been to so many different ridiculous Sixers things there, NFL draft stuff, Eagles stuff. It is a great place to just watch whatever you need to do with a large group of people. And for these types of fights, that's why I'm I love my daughter to death. but I'm genuinely like disappointed that I'm missing out on that type of environment because for Diaz Lawler in that type of place, especially with you two knuckleheads, like I desperately want to be there tonight to see this fight. I think it's going to be the fight of the night.
Oh, 100%.
You know, I know that they have to put on a show because it's going to I don't feel great about the main card. I feel great about the ladies. I don't feel great about sorry, who's the
Ortega
or Volkanovski.
I feel like it's got a good. It'll be an okay fight. It won't be.
Yeah.
It's got to bring a lot. That's why I hope I'm wrong, and it's just banger after banger after banger. It feels like it's going to be that type of night, but I'm pretty sure Diaz and Lawler are going to carry the card.
Well, here's the kicker, right? Did you know that's a 5-round fight too? They re-announced it's a 5-round fight.
So that's why I'm saying, bro, I hope you're ready to stay up. Because if all 3 of these fights go to decision, we're looking at closing this bar down,
1 or
bro.
2 a.m. easily.
Yeah.
What's the first drink, by the way, that you guys go to? What's the number one?
Oh, I always have a green tea drink, not a shot, but I turn it into a drink, so it's more of it.
I go to Tito's.
Sounds exactly like you.
Tito's. Tito's is very plain in color, so you can mix it with whatever, or you can drink it as is, and it's it's kind of like tasteless in a way, where like before you know it, you think you're drinking water, and it's very dangerous for me.
Dude, the green tea drink is so powerful, man. Like after like 6 of them, you start getting kicked. Like I'm like,
6. So by your 6, it'll take me 2. Yeah. I'm the big. Speaking of it, I'm a biggest lightweight when it comes to alcohol. So
I am too.
Another reason why I like Miller's Ale House, because they don't, they pour properly over there.
Yeah, they do. And they're 5 minutes from my house.
There you go.
I don't have to do the dangerous drive necessarily. But so we're going out to Miller's, man. You know, Miller's is a great environment. Like John said, if anybody wants to come out, we can't stop you from coming. We welcome you to come,
Yeah, we have a big crowd coming. We have about maybe like 15 people coming out. So more people, the better, man. Let's have a good time. Let's take over the bar. Just us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be there. We'll be there at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Hopefully 7:30 so that we can get a spot because I know these things get packed.
They do get packed, man. Like the last time me and Bob Hartman have been going, in the beginning, it's a little light. It's like dead. And then when 8 o'clock shows up, it's like a whirlwind of people just walking their asses in there. But like we've been all saying all day, it's going to be really busy today.
I think it's going to be really busy because of there's also college football on all night. So the UFC is going up against college football, and we'll see how many
UFC is going to win that fight because there's not
100%.
much going on tonight.
Yeah,
so.
100%.
Yeah. So
can't wait.
Yeah. So for Chris, for me, Dave, for John, it's been real, y'all. I want to give a shout out to the Devereaux Sports family, Sullivan Squad, Gobbler Inc., Breakfast and Body Slams, and
Scrapple Boys giving me their first piece of Scrapple that I've ever tasted in like 10 years, and still tastes like crap, fellas.
Yeah, I love the Scrapple Boys podcast. I just don't like Scrapple. It's tough for me to eat that. I've never been a big fan. And then for the Bell and Birdman podcast, John and Vinny's podcast, I'll shout them out because they give us love as well. It's been real, y'all. We'll see you at the fights. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the review.
At 10 a.m.
10 a.m. We'll be here. You guys have a good night. I hope to see you guys at Miller's.
Let's go, Nick.
Oh, no. Good freaking catch.
Turn the music up in the headphones.